seconds left.
The fans know it's done. The fans know it's done.
It's over. Chicago, they know it's done. Varsity showing some extra love to Krim. Krim 14-30, map 3. Not a great performance for him.
I think we first pointed out he was like 2-10. He started. Alec, Varsity still torching bodies as the final seconds tick away. That does it. Chicago Huntsmen are your winners at the London Home Series Final.
Welcome to the Huntsmen. I don't understand, and God damn it, I am mad, and I don't want to start the episode like this, but I'm gonna have to. You make beats, good ones. You can't give us an intro? You got a tune? You know, I'm out here singing with no music. I mean, angelic, yes.
And it changes a little bit every week. Like, I want to hear what is in your mind for the pre-show.
Just let it speak for itself. It'll come out eventually.
Okay.
You know, in time.
So should I start over?
Maybe.
No, I already did it.
Welcome to it again. I was doing an
Welcome
Instagram
to the
story.
Huntsmen pre-show, where we tell you all, friends and foes, what's been going on in COD.
Nothing.
Stand of the New York Subliners. Alan, welcome. Thank you for not slouching on this episode. You seem super attentive. It must be because I took the effort. I made the point to write you up. Well, Seth and Maddie back there aren't doing shit. I had to step up and help you get up. Welcome to the Huntsman Show. Episode number 4, the New York Subliners homestand. We got my man General to my left, my man Big T to my right. Whoa, you swole, bro? You been working out?
It's my
huge.
traps. I got back in the gym a little bit. So.
Dude, you look like a Ninja Turtle.
Is that good?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
They got like...
They're like...
Yeah, they're massive. Massive. Everybody, welcome. We are the Huntsman pre-show. We are here to talk a little bit about Call of Duty in the world of the Huntsman. What's been up? What's been happening? I don't understand, Big Timer, why it was that they kept us off the air for 3 weeks.
It was a long time. Was it 3 weeks since the last event?
think so, yeah.
3 weeks, a month?
I'm not good at tracking time, but it was a long time.
I'm not good at counting weeks.
It was something like that.
It's not my forte. But you walked in here, you're like, man, what's the last time we made one of these?
No.
Yeah, I miss it. I miss it when we're not in front of the camera talking shit as we usually do. We have a lot to talk about. 3 weeks off. Who did what is like the main thing. The amount of stuff that happened, though, the amount of stuff that has been sort of flipped upside down is insane. We're going to talk about the GAs. We're going to talk about the meta changes.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about the fact that there's only 3 homestands left plus a world championship that is now have been confirmed online. I think it's
better have 3 cameras all stationed in every single person's setup.
Yeah, do you think that's gonna help? Do you think that putting a camera in front of think that's gonna deter the cheaters from not cheating if there are cheaters? If there are cheaters?
Wait, how would they cheat? What would the cheating
Either
look like?
using Cronus Max, anti-recoil. There's a lot of things you can do.
Is that on a controller? How do you...
No. It's the Cronus.
Big Timer hasn't played since the...
Is that like a code breaker?
Yeah, we use Cronuses before we use the beaver sticks.
Have you ever heard of a...
Cronuses and beaver sticks? What are we talking about right now, bro?
It's what makes your controller wired.
What you played.
By default, PlayStation controllers are Bluetooth.
Yeah.
And you need to make them wired.
Right. Yeah.
So, if no phones are like interfering with the signal of a Bluetooth controller, and if they are, that's when you get you're spinning around. That's what happens if you get that sometimes. So yeah, we use Cronuses before we use beaver sticks, but basically Cronus Max is the thing on the street now. Is that there's some people
of the hardcore streets
that are using Cronus Maxes which are things you plug into your PS4.
Okay.
And they give you anti-recoil. Yeah, it's a whole.
It's like a USB, like a code breaker.
You remember Evil controllers?
I do. Yeah.
Okay, so something like that.
Yes.
But it comes in a little memory stick that you plug in. You sort of bridge it to that. I don't know. I'm not a loser, so I would never use a cheat.
But it works. Like it makes your controller not shake, or literally the recoil.
Recoil of the gun.
It will not recoil in game. Oh, I'm about to destroy.
Yeah, you go pro again.
I'm gonna get on some Warzone, bro.
So you think that putting a camera would deter them from cheating?
Maybe. I mean, there's always a way.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Exactly.
And when there's $400,000 on the line,
who knows?
You best believe that it's something that's gonna be the thing, right?
Yeah.
It's I don't know.
Someone,
it's not confirmed. It's rumors.
It's rumors. Yeah.
Right. But I think that because we are committing to competitive integrity above anything else, we should have anything and everything. Obviously, there's no referees in front of you. You're in the comfort of your home.
That's an easy workaround, the camera thing too. For that much money, I would easily I'd contact a magician or something. You know how to do the mirrors? I would set up a mirror in front of my PlayStation.
Think about it. Like if you're actually like a legit cheater, think about it like you have like a second PS4, and then like you put all the fake cables in, and then you have like your real one below you.
If you really wanted to cheat, you could cheat.
Yeah, no.
Look, I wouldn't do it. Obviously, I'm not a loser.
Yeah, no.
But there are $400,000. That's life-changing money.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, baby.
That's the much. Don't say that. Look.
No, there'll be some competitive integrity.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of the guys who compete in Call of Duty. It's like it's a pride thing.
Yeah.
For a lot of people.
The thing is that I think that shit goes out the window.
Listen, man, we need an HDMI cable check on this guy right now. Make sure his HDMI cable's plugged into the right monitor.
The thing about that is that we will. I mean, obviously, the league and the owners have had extensive, and I mean extensive conversations about whether or not we're going to go to LAN, what sort of steps we could take to make it so. Some of the things that we talked about was, and I'm talking about cohesively as a group, all 12 teams plus the league sat in the room or on Zoom. We sat around. We had a very grown-up conversation where we put everything on the table and said, all right, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what we're going to do. These are the possibilities. This is how we could do it. We can fly them private, right? That's up there. Like the amount of money that we've saved in travel costs this year could justify us getting a private plane here and back from that, period. That's number one. Okay, we'll take generals. Right.
Now you're talking about all teams? Or
all teams.
Okay.
Well, it depends. Obviously, if we did it, one of the thoughts was to have it at the Blizzard Arena.
Yeah.
It's already owned by the league, which means that there would be zero room for mistake if the league committed to making it a super sterile thing, right? The other thing is if we can sort of expedite or push back the champs, that we could have quarantined everybody that made it into the top 4, in the top 6, right? If we do this and we get the seating right and all that, we can do the final 6 there. Everybody that's in the final 6 or the final 4 commit to quarantining themselves in Los Angeles. We're talking some like theories here, okay?
Yeah.
Everybody quarantines themselves for those 14 days. Everybody's good. Everybody's quarantined. We go on. We'll quarantine the whole floor. Like we would take all the appropriate precautions in order to do something like this.
But that was not chosen?
No, because we couldn't afford. No one can, man. Like we don't know who has an underlying condition, right?
Yeah.
We don't know if somebody has something there that we don't want to risk it. Look, we live in a world in which we can operate and continue to compete online. Why the fuck would we risk someone's life?
Yeah, I mean the only thing I have to that is I know some players are still going to move to places that have better internet.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I have to say. Like if they're gonna travel for better internet and better to connect to the servers, the COD servers, and move to states that are more in a central location, I mean, then what's the point of moving or flying there than not just going to a tournament?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I mean, you're both flying in a crisis. I mean, it sucks, but
that's my only thing. Though. You'd have to be crazy to stay out in like LA or something, or California, and
that's the thing. That's the thing that Slasher tweeted out. Like, I mean, that's the point he made.
Yeah.
He said like, if we're gonna make this decision for champs to not have it on LAN, then I'm still gonna leave to go to a different place.
He said something along the lines of like, now I'm being put in a position to make a decision of play on 80 ping or travel and risk my life. I think that argument is kind of weird because you can't be okay with everybody else traveling to you and you not being the only one, right? Like if we're talking, logic here. But he makes look. I agree with like 99% of the stuff that he did. Some of the things that they were talking about doing is maybe splitting the prize pool and not having not have all $2 million be granted to the winner on an online tournament. Instead, have it done throughout the course of several ones until you sort of bring it down. The problem with that is that a lot of people are, everybody in the league is under contract. Yeah. If we push past a certain point, right? Now this is the other thing, right? Like, and I don't know if this is an Activision thing trying to promote the new game or what it is, but Champs is supposed to end in, when is Champs?
Is it April?
April, what the fuck?
August.
I told you I'm not good with dates, bro.
Yeah, I'm not good with math months. August? Okay, so August, right?
That's what I meant to say. Sorry, guys.
When's the new game release?
It's either September or October.
Last year.
August,
November.
September, October, November. It's going to be between October and November when you release.
Well,
what are we going to do for 3 months?
Didn't Black Ops 4 come out in October?
Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is, so what are we going to do for 3 months after that? Why not extend it and have it tiered, sort of, where there's different price pools for different events, and the more we extend it, let's say that we magically, right? This is I'm just talking shit here. Let's say we extend it and we do $500,000 for the first event, and then we do 4 events that lead up to the $2 million. If by the second week, magically, possibly, hopefully, there's a vaccine or people become whatever, we figure out a better way, then we can have a $1.5 million tournament. Right? Would that mess up with like the structure of the points and the point system and everything that we've done?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's a lot of money to let it ride on an online tournament.
There's really not a great way to go about this. I feel like what they're doing is probably the right way, because you really can't push it back that long. I saw some people saying we should push it back until there is a vaccine or something, but it's like, who knows how long that could be? You know what I mean?
Years.
If you push it back until December or January, are you really going to want to play
same
game when a new Call of Duty is
exactly
out?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Some other people were saying, it's like, why don't you roll it until next year?
Yeah,
add it on, and so now we have a $4 million thing out there. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Right? Like, could it have been done? Yes. Was there a slight chance that somebody may have gotten sick?
Yes,
Absolutely. Right there.
Yeah,
It's done. There's no need for any more conversation.
Yeah.
Right. It just, even if there's a 0.01% chance that somebody croaks because of an online condition, it's not worth it.
Yeah,
not worth it.
There's really no comparison.
No.
Just play online or somebody could die. If somebody died because of that decision, it would be
catastrophic. Yeah. So
because legal below held up.
Luckily every single one of the ownership group did what grown men, adults, and women would do. And we coordinated enough. We talked about it over and over again. We then included the players afterwards because the way that we were looking at it, so we got to protect the players from themselves. You know what I mean? They're gonna think, well, we're in the bracket that doesn't really die from this shit, so why do we care? I'd rather go play for this thing and risk it. The probability of me getting blah 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 blah. We said we got to protect them from themselves. We got to make sure that we do the right thing here, and the right thing we did, in my opinion. Everybody agrees. It is what it is. Nobody expected it. It's no one's fault. Let's just move on. Keep the competition going. The format of the competition is what we should be thinking about a little bit more. It's not. Champs is not here yet. Some things may change. Some things may not. It may
Three more
stay the
events.
same. Yeah, 3 more events.
If they don't, just come on down to Texas. I feel like the Huntsmen, we got the best chance as far as like internet's concerned.
No. Tell them why, General.
What?
Tell them why.
What's wrong with good old Texas internet?
Are we talking about location or
location, servers.
Ping.
Okay, so I was saying about before how I was talking about people wanting to move either way or like fly either way is because
they don't want to come here.
Well, I think there's 4 or 5. There's 4 or 5 servers that the neutral servers that COD is played on in the league matches. And even though like Texas is a really good central hub for internet to play COD or even any gaming on, the problem is that you vote on servers to neutral host.
You veto servers.
Yeah, you veto servers. So every single team in the league vetoes the Texas server.
Yeah.
So either we have to play on California or Chicago.
What? Wait, each match? Like teams get to veto?
You veto servers. That's the neutral host of the lobby you play on for the match.
So if you think about somebody like the Mutineers, they have people across the United
They
States.
have a good splits,
Yeah, they have good splits because no matter where they go, you're gonna have 2 people close enough to the server where that happens. I think that in one of the scenarios that happened, I think it was us versus Dallas, and correct me if I'm wrong. Even Dallas vetoed Dallas.
Really?
Even though the majority of both of our teams are here,
Dallas, yeah.
they picked Chicago because Illy is out of
Texas.
no
Right?
Illy's in Canada. Yeah.
Okay.
So they got a Chicago host.
Huh.
Right. So we hit up Formal and we're like, yo, come to Texas. He's like, no, hell no, I'm not doing it. I was like, all right, we're gonna send you to Chicago then, but we're not gonna tell anyone. You know, we're gonna surprise, motherfucker.
Wait, so what are the 5? There's L.A., Texas, Chicago, one in New York, and maybe one on the East Coast.
I'm not really
somewhere?
too familiar. I just said there's 4 or 5.
There's one in Salt Springs, Utah.
But that's definitely happening. The vetoing servers.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, well, my concern is more about what's going to happen in the future. Like, it's like what's going to happen to Paris and what's going to happen to London, right? Like the Paris team is not filled with Parisians. Did I say that wrong?
Parisian.
Most likely, yeah.
I did say it right?
I don't know.
Most likely. Well, goddamn, thank you, man.
No, I was like pretty sure you're wrong.
Oh,
Yeah.
Parisians.
I don't know.
Those
Is
are like
it?
Persian.
Sounds like Persians.
No, I didn't say Persians from Persia. I said Parisians. From Paris.
Howdy.
Anyway, what's going to happen? Are they going to move to Paris? Are they going to, like, I understand the
No,
London Royal
I'm
Ravens.
pretty sure they're all stationed in L.A.
Yeah.
Los Angeles
Okay.
right now. That's where their headquarters for
Yeah.
Paris is.
Yeah, I wonder what the future of that looks like, because if the London Royal Ravens move to London and they have to play out of London, they're never going to get good practice.
Yeah, no, I don't. That's why they don't do that. I think they're stationed here just for practice.
Yeah.
Every single team is stationed in the United States.
Oh, got it. Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
Things I think about every so often. We're going into this next tournament with Face in first place with 230 points. The Mutineers in second with 200 points. You called it last week. You jinxed us, actually. Yeah, you were very proud when you walked in here saying, I called it.
I wasn't proud.
If anything, I called it because I said that the
You said you
Mutineers
were
were going to
gonna
go back to back. And they did. What, chat? I'm wrong? Who's got poop in their face now? Egg. Who's got egg in their face now? Not me. I called it. They were going to go back to back. You said very unlikely. Okay.
Unlikely. But it happened.
But it
I
happened.
didn't say it wasn't going to happen. I said it was unlikely.
And you said what?
I said I was never gonna vote against the Mutineers ever again, and I stand by
Dude,
that. They're probably gonna win.
They have Maniac.
Listen,
what do you expect?
I don't know what
It's
it
true.
was, but it's not even about like how good, because they were playing good. But I felt like when I was watching them, like nobody was shooting back at that team. It felt like I was watching like them playing jetpacks, and then everyone else is playing like World War II boots. So I don't know.
Look, I can't tell you how happy I am for Frosty. For the whole team, but mostly Frosty because he used to be our old teammate. I knew that he was going to be maniac on the sticks here in Call of Duty. If you look at what Formal did, if you look at the amount of I don't know, the amount of success that Formal has had moving from Halo to this with the status that he had in Halo, now sort of happens the same thing with Frosty, right? Like you don't lose that hand-eye coordination, and mechanically all you have to do is learn how to play a new game. Some cases it'll be super difficult, some cases it won't. Either way,
Halo's way harder than COD. I'm sorry, I played a lot of Halo 3. I understand why the Halo pros can come over and just dominate. That's
what do you
a
think?
tough game.
Did you play Halo?
Yeah, I mean that's why I came from Halo to COD. Same thing. I don't know. I think COD has more like. I'm only talking about search. I think COD's way more strategical in like the search and destroy aspect. But in terms of respawn, I would probably say Halo's a little bit more like way more teamwork oriented because you got Oddball. They used to play that. Same thing with like they used to have King of the Hill too. I don't know if they still have that. It's basically Hardpoint.
Yeah.
Just the whole team shooting thing, and just the fact that you have to know like where your teammates are. I mean, I guess you have to do that in COD too. But COD, it's much easier to like be in a bad situation and get out of it with gun skill.
Yeah.
At least it was when I played.
Yeah.
Halo is like if you're in a bad spot, you just screwed your whole team up, and you're never gonna get out of it, and you're done.
So I think again, super shout out to Frosty, my little brother. Super happy for his success or the success that he's having here in the Call of Duty League. But you also have people like Shotzi, right? He too came from Halo, and he too is like sort of becoming his own. He's coming into his own under the Dallas Empire, and that too sort of reiterates the fact that if you're good at one video game, it's very, very likely that you would be able to be above average, if not as good as some pro level teams
Yeah.
in that sort of. I mean, look, if look at Seth, right? Seth played Counter-Strike. Formal played Counter-Strike. Crim6 played Counter-Strike, and they did really, really good. Like I'm talking
Ian
about
was really good at Counter-Strike.
Who?
Ian. Crim6.
Seth was better.
At Counter-Strike?
Yeah.
Seth is not good at Counter-Strike. Is
Yeah.
he good at Counter-Strike?
Yeah. But
I
fucking
wouldn't know.
Salamander Man?
There's no way, bro.
Dude, Salamander
Ian
Man.
used to play it the whole time. We were at 60-50. He
Yeah.
would do nothing
Oh,
but play
nothing but it.
Counter-Strike
Yeah,
the
yeah.
whole time.
Well, he is Ian. Obviously, I don't know if he's better or not. I was just talking shit. But Ian, okay, point proven. If you're good at one video game, you're gonna be good at another.
Especially shooters, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, did you not see me in Battlefield or Battlefront, whatever battle game, 1964?
I think the mechanics, as long as the mechanics are very similar, like you'll adapt with like your gun skill and stuff. But I just think when it comes down, like I said, with search or like some game modes that require like a lot more strategical thinking, and like way more like I don't know, just different ways to play it. That just all comes with experience. There's a lot of reps. That's just normal. Because there's some players that just it took more time for them, especially to get accustomed to search. So, yeah.
Here's an interesting thing, right? We're tied for third place with Dallas Empire at $190, dude.
Yep.
Do they play next week? They play next week. We don't play next week. They play next week.
Yeah.
Right. So it's they could, should, depending on how this event goes, pass us up. Luckily, the next person who's in fifth, 90-90
Rocker at
Minnesota Rocker
120.
120. All right, so it'd be very, very unlikely. Even if they win, they will go to a $170, which still puts up 20 points behind us. Right, so we've solidified the fourth standing. I mean, I don't know, because do they play next week?
Watch Roker just
Yeah, okay.
have a breakout event. Yeah.
You're right, though. It looks like the top four is probably locked up, barring some crazy performance by the Rocker.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that there's still a lot of games to be played.
There
I
is.
think that we should, in theory, win the next three. I'm not going to jinx myself, but that's what I'm hoping for.
Two.
But there's been a lot of meta changes that have happened, and that's going to be our next topic. But let's send it to Envoy to give us his thoughts on that, and then we'll give the analysis on why he's wrong or right or in between. Hit it.
So recently in the CDL, we've seen a couple meta changes, and with about a month and a half, 3 events left, people are just trying to hunker down on what we're going to play the rest of the year. Those would be, we got rid of ammo conversions, which is 10mm and 41 mags for the MP5 and Uzi. Personally, the Uzi one kind of hit home. I really liked using that gun, and I had a bunch of fun using it, probably the most fun on MW I've ever had using that gun. But, it is what it is. I think it makes the game better without it. Makes our team better as well. So, yeah, the Uzi's just not viable anymore because you can't run the mags. But we're still all using MP5s because the AUG also got GA'd as of yesterday, which a couple teams weren't as happy with. But, our team didn't use the AUG, if you guys have been watching or following like the streams and scrims. But, we just personally think it just makes a lot of randomness and a lot of BS. So we just decided to get it out and just try to play with MP5s and M4s the rest of the year. This is like a big benefit for our team because we have Matt and Alec, which are, 2 great ARs, and now we get to actually run 2 ARs where it used to be 4 subs and 1 AR. And then also, Preston's been pulling out an AR on a couple of the maps recently, so we've been running 3 ARs and then me and Seth on the subs. And I was kind of surprised that it was like working at the bat or off the bat, and I really didn't expect it. We're running like 3 ARs on like Petro hardpoint, which I would have never thought at the beginning of the year that would have happened, right? But it is what it is, and it's working. Some teams are even running 4 ARs, and people even talk about teams running 5 ARs now because they think it's that overpowered. Personally, I don't think it's that overpowered. The MP5's still doing me just fine. I'm not touching that AR unless I pick it up, but because that thing's the god gun. Thank God Matt and Alec have it. But I think this meta change just helps us a bunch. Like I said, 2 ARs now, for the most part, is a big benefit for us, and that's kind of why we voted for those GAs, and we're just hoping to finish off the season strong.
Well, it's obviously, as you just, and I agree, and you agree too. One of the main reasons that we picked you up as the sixth man was because you were going to be an AR player that we can fucking rely on at the drop of a dime. Period. Okay. This meta does, I think, and you tell me if I'm wrong, it does favor the
AR.
The two AR meta.
Wait, so explain to me what the meta changes are exactly, because last time
where have you been?
Figured, I mean, greenwallstreet.com.
Doing that work, running it up.
Yeah. So what?
All right,
what's the changes?
just to sum it all up. Basically, what happened was there was a nerf of the MP5 10mm rounds. It's ammo conversion, and you use it so the gun has more damage, right?
Yeah.
And then it's different from the regular bullets of the MP5,
Okay,
right?
time out.
Yes.
Big time. Did you guys have different millimeter rounds when you were
No,
playing?
we didn't have different bullets. We didn't have beaver sticks. None of this. This is all new to me, bro. All new.
All right, continue.
All right. So basically, there was a nerf, and so there was a nerf and also a kind of a buff of it. The 10mm at the same time. It made it worse, but kind of made it better. But so the gentleman's agreement didn't want to have those 10mm rounds at all anymore. And it GA'd every single ammo conversion, including the AUG. And the reason why I say the AUG is because the AUG now just got GA'd. And now, teams are agreeing not to use it, maybe using it. Who knows what's going to happen in this tournament. But besides that, the M4A1, I mean, it's the same gun, but now with 60 hertz servers, it's a better gun now.
Yeah.
So now the meta is now shifting towards a more AR-based game.
Okay.
And now the MP5s, because it used to be the MP5 could challenge M4. Yeah. Like, it was better before this. But now with the GA of the 10mm rounds and kind of like the silent nerf of it, now it's way more in favor of the M4 because now it's a more pre-aim heavy game. Right. And the MP5 can't really just like ego challenge straight up with you. It can sometimes, but you have to get that first shot and you have to actually outposition them now.
Well, at one point early on, weren't people running 4 subs, 1 AR? Or
yeah,
was
up
it
until this
3?
patch.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, no. In 10s, I was playing yesterday, you could get away with 3 ARs now.
Really? It's
you can get away
changed that
with 3.
much.
You can make a comeback.
I could.
That's your shit.
Oh, I was a
can
laser
get away
beam
with 3.
surgical with it, bro.
There's some maps.
Were you a
Do the
turret?
guns recoil though? I guess if I use the beaver stick, I guess not.
Yeah.
No, the Cronus.
It's a Cronus. The Cronus.
The Cronus Max.
The
right.
Coronas. Speaking of Coronas, what's our update, Big Timer?
Oh, I think 10,000 new cases yesterday. The coronavirus in Texas. It's a lot. It's getting real bad.
Yeah.
I got my mask here.
What happened with your with down there? Did you get that checked out?
Oh, I'm good to go. I'm not gonna die yet. I mean, one day it'll get me, but I'm surviving.
You should
for
put
now.
that down there.
Down
get a second
where?
one. You cup the.
Oh, I did get some new. We're not gonna talk about it. I'll tell you later.
Yeah. Anyway, but you're good. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
The boys downstairs are good.
The boys
The
are good to go.
clappers.
They're working.
I'm sorry?
working well.
Excuse me.
the clappers.
Alan, did you say something? Okay. You were saying what? Fucking Matt's losing it back there. All right. Sorry.
They do be
You're a
clapping,
fucking
man.
maniac, bro. Come on.
They do be clapping.
Chat. Enough. Chat. Pay attention. Enough laughing. Okay.
Your eyes are...
Continue. I know. I'm crying because of what you said. All right. So continue.
The meta.
The meta. Okay.
So 2 ARs. It benefits us.
2
Obviously,
ARs.
we have,
2 ARs. You can get away with 2 ARs. Some maps you can get away with 3s, and some hills maybe 3 ARs for a lot of the majority of the maps now.
Do people do that? Like if they're between deaths, they switch over to.
Yeah, I mean
depending on the hill.
When I was filling in for the team, I was doing that on Cave. I'd run an AR for some of the hills and then switch to a sub.
Yeah.
I know Preston's doing that. Now there's maps on Preshow now, even on Hackney. Like I'm now watching, you can get away with 3. There's even a screenshot of even breakoffs starting out 5 M4s.
Shut the
5.
fuck up.
5 M4s. Jesus. Yes, 5 M4s on a breakoff to secure their one-on-ones at range.
Yeah.
To make sure, because think about it. If you're gonna use a one-on-one, just for your one-on-one gunfight, you'd rather have an M4 now in this meta now on the 60 hertz server rather than having an MP5 because you'll be good at all ranges. So. It's definitely going to switch everything. And then that's probably the reason why the AUG got out the meta, because people thought it was too good. In my opinion, I don't think it should have been gotten rid of.
Were people using the AUG that much?
Well, I was using it yesterday in 10s. They were using it for 3 or 4 days, but it hasn't been in the meta that much. But there's a couple clips out there that people watched and they just wanted it gone. I mean, there's a lot of bad clips of other guns that kill a lot of, that literally melt. Right. So, I don't know. I think it was too premature, in my opinion. But yeah, definitely like we're saying though, with this whole meta now, it definitely benefits us more because the M4 is just a good gun.
Yeah.
Like it just outclasses the subs now on the 60 hertz.
from what I hear, Formal's been back to. I'm gonna read you a text, okay? Just so
From the man himself.
From the man himself, just so people don't think that I'm the one, trying to be funny, okay? It started out with, hey, did you get your Popeyes jersey? Because we're doing that Popeyes sponsor versus unsponsored tournament stuff that we're doing. And he said, yeah, I think so. And then I'm like, yo, are you coming to Texas for champs? He's like, have you not heard? Have you not heard that and I'm quoting, no, I'm not trying to come back to Texas. Have you not been watching me? They call me 1.3, skinny formal again. He said it, okay? And then I said, I heard Envoy call you the funniest dude he knew, which is bullshit, obviously, because Envoy knows me too, okay? He said that's premium gas, and that's where we go. So, for what it's worth, I think that it's going to be a very interesting tournament. We often see this from the developers at Activision, where and this time it wasn't as bad as it usually is. Usually they fucking drop a patch day up.
Yeah.
Right? How many MLG events, how many UMG events were there out there where they...
On, like, the Saturday or Friday.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
And then you have to wait.
Just
and
nerf some gun, buff something else.
No, the updates.
Yeah,
you have
updates.
400 plus PlayStations on the floor that need an update.
Yeah.
So you would have Adam Epicella and company stay overnight, which is why it makes them the best ever. Stay overnight, everybody. Him, Bob Morris, John Curran, Pete Melican, like all these legendary
just to
people.
update all the
Just to
consoles.
update consoles, right? We'd be drunk out of our freaking minds at the bar, just drooling probably, and then we would see them just coming by. Just walking from the venue to the room. Like, yo, you want a drink? Last call was about 2 hours ago. Like, nope, go to bed. But that's the sort of commitment. So now, here we are. They didn't do the patch literally right as the game was about to be played on. But it's pretty close, dude. Not only that, but it's in the last 4 events of the game. What's the problem? What's the problem? Somebody clip this and send it to whoever you need to send it to. We got to stop this bullshit. If I see this next year, I'm going to be very, very boisterous. Okay, no matter the consequences.
That would never happen in like other titles.
Never.
Are they doing those updates with competitive in mind? Like, are they even thinking about?
No.
So they're just
they're like,
they're just updating the game.
Well, the thing is like a lot of the Warzone community was starting to use the MP5 because like they were copying the pros because like they would initially use the MP7 because it wouldn't move.
Yeah.
But the MP5 is a better gun because it just melts. But it takes more like recoil management.
Yeah.
So now everyone was getting used to the MP5 and like, oh no, Warzone players are using the MP5 now. We gotta nerf it.
So they're making changes based on Warzone and inadvertently messing up the whole competitive landscape, changing the meta.
I couldn't have said it any better myself. Anyway, put it through your head. Know that this will happen. Okay? Next year, if we see this bullshit, I'm going to personally lead the charge when it comes to talking as much smack as I need to in order to get change to happen. Okay? Not only publicly, but also behind closed doors in the appropriate avenues.
Tell them.
I just did, big timer. I just did. So what do you think about that? Obviously, meta changes towards the end of the game. What do you think we should expect to see this weekend? Let me ask you this. Let me set you up. Let me fucking volley it up so you can spike it. Do you see any other team benefiting enough to where this may change the outcome of their season?
For negative or worse? I mean, negative or worse, or negative or better?
Give me both. Give me both.
I mean, like FaZe. I don't know if it's gonna help them or make them worse. I don't know because there are aggressive players. Right. They'll probably get away with using ARs in a fast pace like play style.
Pre stuff for sure.
Yeah, they'll actually even get better because they'll just abuse the AR, the M4, and play really fast with it. But I don't know. There's some teams that might not get better. I know honestly, maybe Oogla might get better because like they have slow AR players. I don't know what's going on with the roster. Who knows? But I definitely think more teams that had teams built around the previous game's meta, because you know how the thing was in this game. Like a lot of players got either benched or dropped because the meta didn't favor their playstyles from last year. Because remember, there was 3 roles last game, and in this game there's only the MP5 and the M4. There's no flex. It's just sub or the only AR. Now
or on sub.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you do that. Go on.
So yeah, I mean, when it comes down to this meta, I think it's going to help teams that definitely have a more methodical play style. I don't know if this meta is gonna hurt some people, because I think if you just play the same way you're doing with the gun, and because I think the biggest problem what people have with what guns they use is that just because they think they have an AR, they try to play slower, which is like, you just shouldn't do that. And that's what some people like don't seem to understand, because that's one thing I always said, like, doesn't matter what gun you use, as long as you just keep to your pace and your roll, like you'll be fine. And the M4, you can do that now with it. So I don't know. I think
you
if
can run and gun a little bit, get up close, and
yeah.
Doesn't it actually slow you down though, like your character?
Are you talking about like
if you're sprinting with an AR and M4 in comparison to an MP5?
I mean,
or is it not that big a deal?
I mean, they nerfed the no stock attachment, which is where it takes the entire stock off and like you aim, and now it has like a lot of sway.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think it's gonna do that much to the speed and the mobility factor of it. But I definitely think it might make the game a little bit slower. But that's part of the reasons why I don't think the AUG should have been out of the meta.
Right.
Because
could have counteracted it a little bit.
That, and I also think that the AUG actually made the game for subs where they couldn't do it all. Because even though the AUG did kill really, really fast, like you were still kind of slow with it, because you aimed in pretty slow with it.
Yeah, Scumpo's saying that he's still, even after the nerf, is still using the MP5 because that's just the role that he fell into.
Yeah.
In fact,
it's preference.
Yeah, let's go get some Popeyes with Scumpy and talk about the sub meta AR meta change.
Look at this line, bro.
Dude, look, that's the thing about Popeyes, right? There's always going to be a line outside, which is good because it gives us enough time to have a conversation about what we need to talk about. Sethy boy, today we are going to ask you a very crucial question. How do you feel about champs being online?
Well, it's definitely not ideal, but it is safe and responsible and smart for everyone to, be forced to play online. It's going to be weird, obviously, playing for that much money from the office that I play from every single day, not playing at the headquarters.
Yeah.
But, it's going to be weird, but it is what it is. I mean, it's pretty much just like for the cash, like bragging rights kind of go out the window.
Yeah.
When it comes down to a situation like this, so.
Do you think that champs is like the only? I mean, obviously bragging rights is bragging rights, but the money means more in this one than it does in the rest of them. I think more focus. I mean, yeah, there's the most money to be made, but.
I mean, it means the least out of all of them by far. It's an online tournament, and I see people talking crazy like. Some of these players coming up right now are winning online tournaments, and they're like, would you compare this to the beginning of your career? And I said, hell no.
No?
Hell no. They're winning online tournaments. One ping ass.
The other thing that was mentioned is maybe split up the cash so not one team wins it all in once and having it three, but then you take contracts into consideration. You take a new game coming out soon into consideration, and we can't do that.
I actually did. A lot of people disagreed with the splitting up of the cash. I agree with it because I mean, again, like, online is just so fluky. It's really hard for, the public and the fan base to be able to relate because a lot of them haven't played on LAN, so they don't know the difference of, online to LAN. And, I was saying it, some of these teams have splits where they have 2 in Chicago, 1 in Tri-State, and then, 2 in Texas. Like, how every single server, they're going to have 2 people, on the host pretty much on all the servers that the CDL has right now, because the only servers they have are Texas, Chicago. I think there's a Virginia or North Virginia or something.
Yeah.
And then there's a Northern Cali one, and that's it. Those are all the servers. There's 4 different locations. So some of these teams have 2 stacked, and the teams that have been seeing recent success have 2 Chicago. Or 3 Chicago. I don't know exactly their splits, but Florida and LAG both have people that are on the server that they're always going to play on. So it's fluky, and I do think that splitting up the money is better for everyone, just because there's 6 teams that could potentially win this thing, and it's usually there's 2, 3 that you just know are going to win. So I don't know, it's a weird situation. Got to make the best of it, but
well, I mean, that alone just isn't what's happening right now, though, too, because it was just a meta change where they sort of buffed. They say they buffed the MP5, but it sort of didn't. I haven't seen the difference. Obviously, you guys know more. But now the AR is seemingly viable now in this competitive setting.
It's the best gun in the game by far now.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, it does it all. It's disgusting.
Do you run it, or do you still run sub?
Sub.
But you shoot it like an M4, right? Long range?
It's harder now.
Is it?
Yeah. If you challenge an AR now, you'll just get swatted.
Where before it was the other way around.
I mean, you had a chance before. Now you'll just, if you challenge a bad gunfight, you're just going to die. It don't matter who you're shooting against. It's, with the time to kill and how fast, it's ridiculous. I mean, it sucks being a sub now because it's a lot harder, but, you know, got to do what's best for the integrity of the game, you know, and a lot of people don't do that, and that's why Call of Duty has always been weird because the players pick the GAs and blah, 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 and I don't know. I feel like this one is needed, and I like the meta currently.
We're going to order some Popeyes now, Seth. Yes, can I have the spicy chicken sandwich meal with a small iced tea? Yes, please. What else? What do you want?
I'm going to get the spicy chicken sandwich and 3 buffalo ranch tenders with a Dr. Pepper.
Yes, can we do another spicy chicken sandwich and then 3 buffalo ranch tendies? I think that's going to do it. Thank you very much. You mentioned competitive integrity. You mentioned, obviously, being online, there's a lot less ability for refs and everybody involved to keep an eye on certain things. There's we won't go too much into the rumors of people using, you know, devices that help them shoot straight. Do you think that there is a possibility out there for somebody to sort of take advantage of that situation? At that point, can they go to jail for cheating and taking money in? They should. They're stealing.
I mean, there's definitely a chance of cheating. You know, I mean, there's a lot of speculation. It's just something we got to deal with. I mean, I've heard that the league is forcing players to have cameras on their setups, like, so there's no chance. But I just don't see how that's going to be enforced because half these people can't even turn on their cameras for their matches. So how do you expect them to have cameras on their setups?
They don't compete. They're disqualified. If you don't have your camera on, and if you don't have your both cameras on, one of the whatever, then you're disqualified.
No,
you don't get to play.
So I think that it's needed, obviously, because I don't exactly know how these cheats are like put into. Apparently you put it into a Cronus and then you plug the Cronus in like normal, because that's what we would use at the events, and then you can download like a cheat on it and no one would know because, you know, it's just like a Cronus. I mean, how do you know if a PC player is hacking if they're not streaming or something? You know, it's like,
yeah,
it's just all, and we're at a professional level, so, you know, like, you assume everyone's a good player, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you know if he's cheating or if he's really good? It's like, you just don't know, and that's where it can get lost. And I mean, bro, it's
a lot of money on the line.
Yeah, it's.
I think that there needs to be some sort of, you know, punishment if you get caught doing that.
If it's 400 racks and for one person, that's $500,000 almost. I mean, you're getting taxed on it, but, you know, that is life-changing money. So,
yeah.
I mean, I could see people doing it. I'm gonna plug this shit in for 2 days and make 400 racks real quick.
Over and under. Do you think that Formal will travel to the Hex quarters to compete?
Zero chance.
Why do you say that? Have you guys asked him already?
I said, you know you're going to have to fly to Texas, right? He said, you want me to get smoked? And I was like, what do you mean? You're going to be on better connection? He's like, I just won't be comfortable there. And I was like, so when you fly to a LAN, how do you play there? You just don't want to leave.
How do you acclimate to the new environment? I texted him myself. I said, yo, you know you're going to have to come to Texas to compete. Yeah, I did.
Send his ass to Chicago.
Should I?
Just
Where would he play out of Chicago? Send him to the Scuff House? Just like move into his old room?
Just throw him up there in Chicago. We'll road move him, not say anything about it, and then teams will know what servers to veto against us.
So you veto servers?
Yes. So every single series, there's a Texas. For us personally, it goes by like the teams in the series, the servers that are available to veto.
Yeah.
So.
Hold on a second. Did you want any condiments?
Yeah, ranch, please.
Can I have some ranch with that, please?
But, so, like I was saying, so yeah, every single series is based on where the two teams are. So most teams that we're playing are East Coast. I mean, Dallas is in Texas, obviously, with us. So.
Thank you, man. Yeah.
So our 3 servers that we are even allowed to veto from are Texas or Chicago and the East Coast server. So it's like if we play New York, if we play London, if we play Florida, if we play the Gorillas, they're all over the place. So they're just going to veto Texas.
Yeah.
And then 2 of the servers are literally like right next to all of them. And we're sitting here, 4 of us stacked in Texas like.
So what you're saying is that we should move to Chicago?
No, I'm saying that the CDL needs to give more servers so that they can't just get Chicago every single series. Because we play in Chicago every single series.
Yeah.
Even when we play Dallas, we play on Chicago because they vetoed Texas.
Thanks, man. Last question. Agree or disagree? There will be an asterisk if you win champs this year.
Yeah, 100%.
Unless we win. No, I'm kidding. Even if we win. So you do believe that there will be a massive asterisk next to this one,
yes.
Obviously because of the format that it's in. I agree. I personally obviously would have rathered, like everybody else, have this been on LAN, but I will say that the league, the team owners, and now the players have all, we put a lot of thought and effort into this thing. And, unlike traditional sports, and even though this is the most chancy tournament that we're ever going to play, I think that it is the right decision. If you look at the world and the way that it's currently being lived out, with COVID being such a big factor in it, it's going to be one of those things.
Yeah.
And it sucks because it's the most money that has ever been on the line for Call of Duty. It was a climactic sort of feature that we added onto Call of Duty. We've been working for this sort of support, this sort of structure for over 10 years, and now that we're here, something pops up in the world that we sort of everybody has to acclimate to and make the best of it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it is what it is. It's better to at least have it and have the opportunity to keep competing and playing, and having content for the spectators and everyone that loves Call of Duty and watching it competitively. It's better to have it than not have it. So.
It is what it is. All right, we're going to send it back to the studio, so I'm going to send it back to myself. Hex, take it away. Love some chicken from Popeyes. You know what he said when we picked him up? He said, I'm not going to eat this. I'm just going to do the segment. You know what he did?
Ate it.
He took both the orders.
Wow.
He took he took my chicken sandwich and his 3 chicken strips that he ordered.
You think you're not going to eat it till it's right in front of you.
Until you
smell
see it.
You smell it.
Those Cajun fries are above and beyond. Anyway, I obviously you have a little bit more insight onto whether or not. Look, if he says we're gonna be good, if he says that it favors us, I agree.
It does.
Obviously, it's pretty unanimous that it does. So I'm kind of psyched to see how this weekend turns out.
Because now Alec is actually using an AR the entire time.
Yeah.
With formal.
Yeah, that's gonna be sick.
And he's back in his comfort zone.
Yeah. It should make the coach even better, right? Because now he's got several things to talk about. Speaking of coaches, and look at the segue, we're gonna go to the player breakdown with Coach Troy Sender Michelson.
What's going on, everybody? This is Sender, and I'm gonna be giving you guys some gameplay breakdown analysis from my perspective of what I think is going on in the players' heads in the moment. So let's get right into it. For this first clip, we're gonna be watching Envoy versus Roker on Cave. And what this clip entails is we're currently on the rotation towards the 4th hill on Cave. And coming from the side that we're currently coming from, the P2 side of the hill, it's a little bit easier to break the 4th hill from this side, in my opinion. So right now, he's just trying to wait for his teammates for the perfect opportunity to break as a team. So right now, he tries tossing his smoke, but it gets blocked by a trophy, so he waits for his teams to get on the desk. His teammates get on the desk, he pushes in, gets 3, and it's just a perfectly clean break from the boys. And on top of that, we're gonna guarantee most of this time fighting it from the front since it's easier to hold. And on top of that, we have rotation to the 5th hill as well. So it's just a perfect situation. And Perfect three-piece from the kid. So for this next clip, we're going to be watching Envoys 1v3 versus the Florida Mutineers. So what this clip is Envoys pushing up the alley with Formal right now. They're trying to clear out their ammo building so they can try to get eyes on B. Formal gets cleaned up by Havoc. Envoy tries to trade the kill, but ends up getting Skies instead. Now he gets put in a 1v2. You know Havoc's under him, but Florida has to plant the bomb. And they're not going to wrap it in with this much time left, especially when the bomb's down B. So Envoy just gets the kill on Havoc, stays alive at loading, knows Frosty's by the bomb. Frosty picks it up. There's like 10 seconds left on the clock. So right here, Envoy's just going to play off of Frosty mistakes just because there's not much time left. So it's super predictable that Frosty's probably going to end up planting the bomb. So Dylan lets him, cleans him up. Super easy round one, super easy clutch. But the composure from Dylan, phenomenal. And it was just a huge play overall. So for this next clip, what we're going to watch is Scump's 2v1 versus Paris on St. Petro S&D. So what's going on in this clip? RCs and Seth are in a 2v2 versus Shocks and Zed. Paris planted the bomb. We have like 35 seconds left since they just planted. Alex trying to currently look for a gun. And what their thought process is basically try to get top apartments control so they can get better eyes on the bomb and try to get more information. Seth sees one top. Alec goes in, dies. Seth's trying to play his life. He kind of has better information where he is. Zed overchilled a little bit there, and then Shocks just wide peaked. Ends up kind of throwing the round away for his team. But Seth does hit some really nice shots, and I think Shocks' mindset right there is just trying to get as much information as possible and then back up. But with the amount of time left on the clock, he probably should have just backed up, and it was just a really good shot from Seth and just a huge clutch. So for this next clip we're going to watch, it's Scump's 4-piece on Ramaz S&D on the B bomb site versus the Florida Mutineers Game 5. So I'll kind of go into the clip, but I'll pause it really fast to kind of give you guys a little bit of understanding what's going on here. So RCDs is sitting inside of Scump's loading building, but he doesn't really have eyes to look over him since Florida uses a lot of smokes on their offenses to try to push up B. So Scump essentially right here is kind of alone on the bomb site, but we were giving him a lot of information on how many people were pushing him. So we'll just get right into the clip. Scump gets one trying to push him. He knows that they're pushing out the bottom middle through a smoke. So he ends up turning around, goes huge, completely poops on Frosty. He gets 3 kills, tries to stay alive on bomb. Farrell flanks Alex, so Seth knows he's behind him, but he ends up getting another one in almost the 5th. So right there, what was going on is Florida kind of choked that round, in my opinion. Obviously, if Frosty just trades Seth and Farrell flanks the top loading, they probably end up winning the round. But overall, Seth just goes massive and, you know, helps keep us alive in the Game 5 versus Florida.
So, my favorite part of the show, okay? And I'm saying this is my favorite part of the show because, look, I called it last week. I told you who was going to win last week. I'm going to tell you who's going to win this week.
Okay.
Okay? So, let's start it off. The Subliners home opener starts with a match from the Toronto Ultra, which, by the way, whose logo is a squirrel. Did you know that? Did you know that?
A squirrel? No,
Yeah.
I did not.
Their logo is a squirrel. Go back and look at it. It's a squirrel.
Wait, speaking of that, the rat pizza that New York did was actually hilarious. I like that spray paint.
What are you talking about?
Like
Oh, yeah.
their thing.
That
was pretty cool.
Yeah, we have the
Flamethrower.
We have the flamethrower. The Pro Pack is what you're talking about. We're gonna move on from there, and we're gonna go to the to the predictions. Okay, so who do you got? Toronto Ultra or Paris Legion?
I said Toronto Ultra last time. They let me down. I'm gonna go with Paris.
You know Paris. 3-2.
3-2. It's gonna be a close one.
I have 3-1 Paris.
Just so you see, I'm not copying. I already had it written down. 3-2 Paris Legion is what I'm going for. Also, just, yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the standings. Ultra's got 50 points. Legion's got 60. It seems on paper they're probably pretty similar. But
What's that got to do with anything?
what, the point standings? Yeah. It has to do with everything. That's
Support your point there.
how many points they have. It's a representation of how well they've played throughout the year. Mm-hmm. They're very similar. Mm-hmm. So I'd say 3-2 Paris Legion is my prediction. 3-2
Paris Legion. Well, look, we're all in agreement. Paris is going to take it. You know what? I'm gonna mark it down. I want my papers. I'm going to take a picture of my predictions.
That way we have some proof next week.
We have proof. We can go back and look at the video where I said that whatever is going to go back to back. Anyway, then we have the real important match. We have a chance to see the boys, the Huntsmen, the H-Men, the Hexmen win 3-1 versus the Royal Ravens. I'm saying 3-1 just because I'm confident. I'd rather be a 3-1. It could be a 3-2. Obviously, Waskins is. Look, I don't give props to snipers enough, but I think the boy's got the touch. Okay, I think that his brother Scraps is the better looking one, has more personality, but that's neither here or there. Okay, who do you have?
I had it written down to a 3-1 favor us.
3-1 us. Okay, same.
I'm going for the sweep 3-0 Huntsmen. After hearing from the team, and it seems like the meta change favors us a little bit, I think they're gonna come out and show up.
I like the fact that you're talking about the meta now later in the show.
Yes, well, it still applies.
All right, we have OGLA versus FaZe. Alan, don't skip Alan. Look at how attentive he's sitting. Alan, okay, that's the score. He said 3-0. 3-0 FaZe? What? Okay.
I think he copied me.
You have 3-0 FaZe?
Yeah.
You don't think that you said earlier that this meta might?
Yeah, but they're still playing against a FaZe that I think is also gonna probably maybe get better from this meta too. And plus, Optic is having team changes right before this tournament.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go 3-0 FaZe.
Solid choice. I'm gonna say 3-1. I'm gonna go FaZe 2.
I mean, just thinking.
Yeah, I think they'll probably give up one map, just considering how aggressive they play.
I'm gonna take mine back. I'm gonna do 3-1 because I do think that they're gonna win one S&D game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're sticking?
I'm sticking.
So. You're sticking. All right.
No, it's not that I don't think so.
The marquee matchup of the night. The marquee matchup of the night.
Pizza Rats.
Yeah, the marquee is Minnesota Rocker versus the New York Subliners. Oh my God, this is tough. This one's tough for me. I wrote it down. I'm not gonna change my mind, but it was tough for me. What do you think?
Pizza Rats 3-2. New York.
New York 3-2.
Yes.
I got the Rocker 3-2.
I got the Rocker 3-2-2.
Yes, sir.
Ashley Midnight. That's my sis. Gary V. That's my guy.
We do love them, but although I'm just saying, looking at the standings, like that's the one team that we don't want to see do too well.
That is true. Again, this is what
you guys are praying on our downfall. I'm praying on our up.
Right.
Yeah.
Going up.
Yeah, I'm with that. I'm not even gonna talk about it. I'm with you, man. 100%. I think that these predictions. All right. Whoa. The most important prediction of the who takes the whole weekend.
The whole tournament.
The whole tournament.
I'm not gonna say who is gonna win, but I don't know how the bracket's gonna be set up. But I can either see us versus FaZe for a finals if the bracket turns out, or like it's probably gonna be like a dark horse team that makes it to finals, and it's gonna be probably us versus FaZe to get in there.
Okay? So let me ask you this: you think that this weekend is gonna be the weekend where we get to compete?
I think so.
Against the Little Giants.
I think so. I think this is the weekend.
I've been looking forward to this for like 8 months.
I mean, new meta change.
I wish I could bet on this thing.
FaZe saying everything's going to be used. Who knows what could happen?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
That's what I'm wondering. Do people break like the
GA?
Listen,
what Twitter
says...
Has
there ever been a GA break?
I think there has. It's been a few CODs ago.
Did you ever break the GAs?
I would never. Of course not. No. But it has happened. I forget what game it was. I think it was Black Ops 3 or something. I don't want to name names.
No, name
Clay, Clay's my dude. Didn't Clay break a GA?
No, Clay in World War II against some
That's what
team.
It was, right?
Yeah, it was against Blastful's team. He was using Amon Garant.
It's because of the amount of pine trees that they added to the map.
Oh yeah, they added the extra tree and forest.
Yeah, they added more trees, and that's why I would have done the same thing. Clay, you're the man. All right, I think that for the weekend, who do you got as the winner? Alan, who do you got as the winner? Don't be biased now. All right, I agree. Who do you got?
I don't know.
Okay, good one.
You don't know. Huntsmen, baby.
Come on. Listen, man. Who knows? I want to say Huntsmen.
You just want to be. You just want to.
Listen, man. I'm neutral, bro.
Yeah. I get it.
You
just want to make sure that this doesn't affect your record.
Listen, man. You said
you don't want this to affect your record next week.
That I predicted. So I'm not saying anything. I say I'm neutral right now. My prediction is we're either going to be in the finals of FaZe, or we're going to play against FaZe in the semifinals to make it to finals.
I'm with it. I'm going with the Huntsmen, baby. You know how I get down.
Same. I'm putting my clackers on the chopping block right here.
All right. I'm going to Huntsmen too.
Look. Big Timer said it best, as he just
clappers
did. With the clappers. With that note, we're gonna send it over to the CDL, which is about to begin in less than 5 minutes. If you guys enjoyed this, don't leave yet. Hey, pay attention. Look at me. Leave a like, leave a comment, share the broadcast, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Go ahead. Go on over there. Ask them what time the Huntsmen play.
Tell them who sent you.
And tell them who sent you, baby.